FileMaker Pro 11 makes it easy to create and modify a database. And if we review, we'll understand that a database is simply stores and identifies data. That's right, it just simply puts and retrieves, and it contains and describes data. That's all. It does this in a very unique way, and how we can identify how it actually happens or what the roadmap or the structure of this database is by the use of a relational database schema. The schema is simply the structure of a database system, and it's described in a formal language supported by the database management system. And in this language, the relational database, it defines the tables which make up the database. It defines the fields within each table that make up the database, and it also describes the relationships between the fields and the tables that make up the database. It simply gets very granular in describing that basic interdependence of, say, parent to child, or one to many is what the database actual verbiage is. And it identifies basically the source and the target of how the tables contribute information among how they communicate among themselves to present the data that is requested of them. Now, this generally does not happen in a flat database. The tables and information are not linked in this way, in this one-to-many relationship, and all like a relational database. That's what makes a relational database so powerful. It can link many tables together and make sense of who's who and who has what in order to extract the data and present it back after it's requested. Whereas a flat database is just a nice listing, you might say. Well, anyway, these schemas are generally stored in a data directory, and although the schema is defined in a text database language, the term is often used to describe a graphical depiction of a database structure. Real quickly, if we look at the sample on the screen, we'll see these three tables, say customers, products, and invoices for this database. So let's take a look real quickly at customers, and you can see this is a layout view of how these tables, we've decided to arrange these tables, first name, last name, this table of customers, all of the field names within this table, all this information pertains to the customer. If we look at a products table, all of these names, product name, description, manufacturer, you wouldn't see this on a customer table. Manufacturer doesn't have anything to do with customer, it has something to do with the product. Part number, that's product related. The vineyard, well, that's a product relation. You can see amount in stock. That's not a customer, that's a product related field. So you can see, let's group all the fields that are like the products. Let's group all of the fields that pertain to invoices here in invoices. So all of these fields are what we're talking about. And this is just simply a layout view of how to enter the data to make it simple for us. Matter of fact, let's take a quick look. We'll go to File, Manage Database, and we will look at the structure of a table. And you can see the table here. If we double click it, now we're looking at the fields within that make up this table of customers. And these are all the fields. The same thing we're looking at in the background here is the same information here. This is just arranged in a layout that makes it easy to work with. And lastly, a relationship. What we have here, this graphical representation of the relationship of how these tables are interrelated. This contributes information here. See the reverse headed arrow? This one, this invoice ID, contributes information to this table. And these little lines, we'll go into all of this later, but this shows how these tables are interrelated. This is called the schema. And this is a graphical representation of the interdependence relationship of the tables and fields that make up the database. And this as simple as that. And we're going to work on all these upcoming lessons that will make you very strong and very good at creating your own database.